Hello everyone! Today we will open up something I did not necessarily know that I would open. It is Doctor Who, the commander deck for Magic, the Gathering, Universes Beyond. I know next to nothing of Doctor Who. Well, I know a little bit about it, but yeah, I'm not really an expert on this. So I'm just going to open it up and see what cards we get. And this one is Blast from the Past, and it says to contain the first 8 Doctors. Now I do know that the Doctors, can you call it reincarnate? I don't know. Please don't be mad at me if I make mistakes. Oh my goodness. So in this one we already see the 4th Doctor, which is in the deck. Yeah. It will contain a what? Oh, well, there goes the. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm opening it up the wrong way. Well, there goes the box. I never collect the boxes anyway. Alright, so here we have, the collector booster sample pack. 2 cards in there, and very interesting, plane chase. We get more plane chase, and I love more plane chase. The more, the better. Right, what do we get in here? We have some counters, of course, some punch out tokens. We get a deck box here. A flimsy cardboard deck box with the 4th Doctor on here. And of course, the deck. Oh, and there we go. And the plane chase die with a new color scheme. Very nice, yellow and blue with glitters. Very nice. I really like that they do plane chase again. We get a life counter, again, up to 40, as always. We get a little booklet here with what's what, how plane chase works, and something about the deck. Now then, I do know that each of the Doctors has like a companion with them. Is that how you call it, a companion, or is it called something else? But I know there is always like a sidekick. So we start off here with the first card of the deck, the 4th Doctor. It's a Simic card for 4. It's a 4/4, and it says you may look at the top of your library at any time. And it has an ability called Would You Like a... and then ... question mark. Once each turn, you may play a historic land or cast a historic spell from the top of your library. When you do, create a food token. So yeah, that's nice. And here is the Doctor's Companion, as we can see it here. So you can have 2 commanders if the other is the Doctor. And it says so right here. And in this case, we have a Sarah Jane Smith. I think she belongs with him. I don't know. But she is a card for 2. A white 2/1 character. So basically, this is a 3-color deck. Like white, blue, and green, the Bond colors. And it says, whenever you cast a historic spell, investigate. This ability triggers only once each turn. Alright, cool. Next up we have Banish to Another Universe. We have for 5 mana and enchantment. Affinity for historic permanents. Oh, that is interesting. Affinity is back. Ooh, I love it. When Banish to Another Universe enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until Banish to Another Universe leaves play. Alright, cool. The Time Lord Regeneration. It's an instant for 1 blue. Until the end of the turn, target Time Lord you control gains when this creature dies. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a Time Lord creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Then we have a displaced dinosaurs, which is some dinosaurs roaming a city street. Interesting. So it's for 7 mana, 7/7. As a historic permanent enters the battlefield under your control, it becomes a 7/7 dinosaur creature in addition to its other types. Oh my goodness, so if you play an artifact, it also becomes a 7/7 dinosaur. Sheesh, that's nice. The Sonic Screwdriver. Yeah, that's a very iconic thing, I know, from the Doctor Who universe. For 3, it's an artifact. You can tap it for mana, pay 1 and tap it to untap target, another target artifact. For 2, tap, you can scry 1, and for 3, tap, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Then we have the TARDIS, which is of course the phone box that he travels in, which is bigger on the inside. I know that. See, I know something. For 2, it's a 2/4 vehicle, flying with crew 2. When the TARDIS attacks, if you control a Time Lord, the next spell you cast this turn has Cascade, and you may planeswalk. Swords to Plowshares, a reprint with some new art, of course. All of the art, even of the reprints, will be Doctor Who themed. Pass to Exile. Return to Dust. We have Explore. Oh, I like this one. Beautiful art. And I must say, even though I'm not really that familiar with Doctor Who, I really like the art. 3 Visits. Oh, that's a welcome addition. Very nice. Arcane Signet. We have a Soul Ring. Talisman of Unity. Hero's Blade. A Talisman of Progress. Thought Vassal, Mindstone, Thriving Isle, beautiful art, I like it. And then we go back to some unique new cards. Romana II, which is a 4 mana 3/3 Vigilance Doctor's Companion. That says for 1 and tap, create a tap token that's a copy of target token that entered the battlefield this turn. Then we have Joe Grant for 3, also a companion. It's a 3/2, and each historic card in your hand has cycling 3. Then we have Tegan Jovanko for 3. It's a 2/2, also a Doctor's Companion with Brave Hearts. Whenever you attack, target attacking historic creature gets +1/+1 and gains indestructible until end of turn. Barbara Wright, also a companion, a 1/3 for 2. History Teacher. Sagas you control have read ahead. Oh, as a saga enters the battlefield, choose a chapter and start with that many lore. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Oh, that's very interesting. Ian Chesterton, also a companion. A Science Teacher for 3. It's a 2/3. Each saga spell you cast has Replicate. The Replicate cost is equal to its mana. Perry Brown. For 4, it's a 2/3 companion, and it says the first historic spell you cast each turn has Convoke. So this has a lot to do with historic spells. I really like how it works. It adds to sagas, most of all, and some creatures. Very nice. Crisis of Conscience. For 6, it's a sorcery that says choose 1, either destroy all tokens or destroy all non-land, non-token permanents. Then we have a saga here, The Caves of Androzani, which is for 4, with 4 chapters. The first chapter is put 2 stun counters on each of up to 2 target tapped creatures. So yeah, the stun counter, it doesn't explain here, but the stun counter basically says doesn't untap during the next untap step. Then chapters 2 and 3 are for each non-saga permanent, choose a counter on it. You may put an additional counter of that kind on that permanent. And then for 4, search your library for a Doctor card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Another saga, The War Games, for 4. Also 4 chapters. The first one is each player creates 3 tapped 1/1 white warrior creature tokens. The tokens are goaded for as long as the War Games remains on the battlefield. And then chapters 2 and 3 put a +1/+1 counter on each warrior creature. And in chapter 4, you may exile a non-token creature you control. When you do, exile all warriors. Oh, and we have another saga here. A lot of sagas. Trial of a Time Lord. For 3. Ooh, nice. Also 4 chapters, but the first 3 are all the same. Exile target non-token creature an opponent controls until Trial of Time Lord leaves the battlefield. And then for the 4th chapter, starting with you, each player votes for innocent or guilty. If guilty gets more votes, the owner of each card exiled with Trial of Time Lord puts that card on the bottom of their library. Okay. Well, another saga. The Night of the Doctor. For 6, we get only 2 chapters here. The first one is Destroy All Creatures, and the second is Return target legendary creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put your choice of a First Strike, Vigilance, or Lifelink counter on it. Now we go over to the blue cards. We have a lot of new cards in white. Traverse Eternity for 4. It's a sorcery. Lovely art. Draw cards equal to the highest mana value among historic permanents you control. Ooh, that's awesome for 4. Then we have K9, Mark 1. It's a robot dog. For 1 blue, it's a 1/1. It has 2 abilities. It's also a Doctor's Companion. Oh, that's fun. The first one is negative. As long as K9 Mark 1 is untapped, other legendary creatures you control have ward 1. And then affirmative for 2 and tap. Target legendary creature can't be blocked this turn. Another Doctor's Companion. How many of the companions are there? My goodness. We have Adric, the mathematical genius. It's a 2 mana 1/1 with an ability for 3. Tap, copy target copy target activated or triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. And then it has ultimate sacrifice for 2. Sacrifice Adric. Counter target activated or triggered ability. Nice. Nissa of Traken for 4. It's a 3/4. You have no maximum hand size. She has a sonic booster whenever Nissa of Traken attacks. Sacrifice X artifacts. When you sacrifice 1 or more artifacts this way, tap up to X target creatures and you draw X cards. Also a companion. Next up we have Reverse the Polarity. For 3 it's an instant that says choose 1. Either counter all other spells, nice, or switch each creature's power and toughness until end of turn. Oh, that's very nice as well. Especially with cards like Humble. Ooh. Or creatures can't be blocked this turn. Then we have 500 Year Diary. For 4, it's an artifact. It's a clue. It's also a clue. Very cool. 500 Year Diary enters the battlefield tapped. Then tap to add blue for each clue you control. And it is a clue by itself, so that's nice. Or for 2, you can sacrifice it and draw a card. Oh, we also have a blue saga. Oh, and this is from the first Doctor. I recognize him because when I was actually trying to watch Doctor Who, I wanted to start at the beginning. So I watched the first Doctor. It's in black and white. And the pacing was so slow. But it had something nice to it. It was kind of endearing. But it was really slow. But I liked it. An Unearthly Child for 3. It has 3 chapters and all of them are the same. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a Doctor card. A card with Doctor's Companion or a vehicle card. Put that card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Then we go over to the green cards. And also we have more companions here. For 4 it's a 3/3. Lila Savitem Warrior. Whenever an opponent draws a card, except the first one they draw in each of their draw steps, put a +1/+1 counter on Lila Savitem Warrior. Then we have Ace, the Fearless Rebel. For 3, it's a 2/2 with Nitro 9. Whenever Ace attacks, you may sacrifice an artifact. When you do, put a +1/+1 counter on Ace, then it fights up to 1 target creature defending player controls. companion as well. Susan Foreman, also a companion, and I believe this is the companion of the first Doctor. I think. Oh, it's so long ago. So for 2, we have a 1/1 that says if you would planeswalk, instead look at the top 2 cards of your planner deck. Put one of them on the bottom of your planner deck and the other on top, then planeswalk. And tap for green. Interesting. So outside of plane chase, you would not really play this. Then we have the 5 Doctors. So it's a sorcery for 6. With kicker 5, search your library and or graveyard for up to 5 Doctor cards. Reveal them and put them into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle. If this spell was kicked, put those cards onto the battlefield instead of putting them into your hand. Wow. But that's going to cost 11. It's quite hefty. Jamie McCrimmon, also a companion. For 3, it's a 2/2 trample. Whenever you cast a historic spell, Jamie gets +X onto end of turn, where X is the spell's mana value. And we're not done yet with green, and so many new cards. Oh my goodness. The Sea Devils. For 3, it's an enchantment. It's Saga, again. The first 2 chapters are the same. And it says, create a 2/2 green alien salamander creature token with Island Walk. And then chapter 3 is until end of turn. Whenever a salamander deals combat damage to a player, it deals that much damage to target creature that player controls. Next up we have the City of Death. For 3, also a saga. The first is create a treasure token. Then the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th chapter. Wow, 6 chapters. Create a token that's a copy of target non-saga token you control. Oh. Target non-saga token. Oh, interesting. Gallifrey Stance. Gallifrey Stance. Okay, so it must mean something. Is that a planet or something? I don't know. Enlighten me, please, in the comments down below. It's a legendary enchantment for 6. When Gallifrey Stance enters the battlefield, return all Doctor cards from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, wow. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a Doctor card from your hand onto the battlefield. Then if you control 13 or more Doctors, you win the game. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's very interesting. Nice, I like it. Alistair, the Brigadier. Alright, so he isn't a Doctor, he isn't a companion. What is he? For 4, it's a 3/3, and whenever you cast a historic spell, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. And whenever Alistair attacks, you may pay 8. If you do, creatures you control get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of historic permanents you control. Ah, there he is, the first Doctor. Oh, yeah, like I said, I liked him. For 3, it's a 2/2 that says, when the first Doctor enters the battlefield, search your library and or graveyard for a card named TARDIS. Reveal it and put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle. Whenever you cast a spell with Cascade, put a +1/+1 counter on target artifact or creature. The second Doctor, and from what I've heard, you cannot really watch this particular era of Doctor Who because it's all been lost. Yeah, it's kind of a shame if you really want to watch it. Yeah, so we have the second Doctor. For 4 mana, it's a 2/4. Players have no maximum hand size. And then he has How Civil of You. At the beginning of your end step, each player may draw a card. Each opponent who does can't attack you or permanents you control during their next turn. Oh, interesting. So you're kind of bribing them. The third Doctor, for 4, it's a 2/2 with trample. The third Doctor gets +1/+1 for each non-creature token you control. When the third Doctor enters the battlefield, create your choice of a clue token, a food token, or a treasure token. Then we have the fifth Doctor. For 4 mana, it's a 2/2 with Peaceful Coexistence. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control that didn't attack or enter the battlefield this turn. Untap those creatures. The 6th Doctor. For 6 mana, it's a 3/3 with Time Lord's Prerogative. Whenever you cast a historic spell, copy it, except the copy isn't legendary. This ability triggers only once each turn. And then we have the 7th Doctor. And since there are 8 in here, we already know what the next card will be. For 5, it's a 3/6 that says whenever the 7th Doctor attacks, choose a card in your hand. Defending player guesses whether that card's mana value is greater than the number of artifacts you control. And if they guess wrong, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Ooh, nice. If you don't cast a spell this way, investigate. And of course, the 8th Doctor. For 6, it's a 4/4, and it says when the 8th Doctor enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. Once during each of your turns, you may play a historic land or cast a historic permanent spell from your graveyard. If you do, it gains. If this permanent would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Next up we have, an alien. Vrestin, Menoptera Leader. It's 3 mana and X, 0/0 flying. When it enters the battlefield it enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. Then, when Vrestin enters the battlefield, create X 1/1 green and white alien insect creature tokens with flying. Whenever you attack with 1 or more insects, put a +1/+1 counter on each of them. Sergeant John Benton. 3 mana, 2/4 trample haste with share intelligence. Whenever Sergeant John Benton deals combat damage to a player, you and that player each draw that many cards. Then we have another saga, The Curse of Fenric. For 4 mana, it's a saga with 3 chapters. The first one. For each player, destroy up to 1 target creature that player controls. For each creature destroyed this way, its controller creates a 3/3 green mutant creature token with Death Touch. Second chapter, target non-token creature becomes a 6/6 legendary horror creature named Fenric and loses all abilities. And then for the third chapter, target mutant fights another target creature named Fenric. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's really cool. Huh. Okay, next up we have Duggan, Private Detective. For 4, it's a star, and power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in your hand. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, investigate. And then it has the most important punch in history. For 2 and tap, Duggan deals damage equal to twice its power to another target creature. Activate only once. Nice. Then we go over to the artifacts. We're almost done, I think, with the... just gonna skip ahead a little. Yeah. Almost done with the new cards. Whew! But these decks, my goodness, have a lot of new cards. Which is nice. And kind of flavorful, of course. We have Bessie, the Doctor's Roadster. It's a vehicle. 2 mana, 3/4 haste. Crew 2 vehicle. And whenever Bessie attacks, another target legendary creature can't be blocked this turn. Ace's Baseball Bat. For 2 and equipment, a legendary equipment that says equipped creature gets +3/+0. And as long as equipped creature is attacking, it has first strike and must be blocked by a Dalek if able. Equip legendary creature 1 and equip 3. Yeah, we haven't seen any Daleks yet. I know those. I mean, they were the original bad guys. Gallifrey Council Chamber, a legendary land that says when it enters the battlefield, survey 1. You can tap it for colorless or tap for any mana of any color. Spend the mana only to cast a Time Lord or alien spell or activate an ability of a Time Lord or alien. Then we have the Day of Destiny, which is a reprint, so I'm not going over that. But that's nice. I think it's one of the first... Is it one of the first scenes of the old Doctor? And it's kind of washed out, so it looks like it's black and white, but it isn't. I like it. Heroic Intervention. Nice. Time Wipe. We have Heroes Podium. Transalore Clock Tower. I don't know. What is a Transalore Clock Tower? Either tap and add blue and put a time counter on Transalore Clock Tower. Then for 2 and tap, remove 12 time counters. Isn't this the one from Eldraine? No, it isn't, because here it says you exile it, shuffle your graveyard and hand into your library, then draw 7 cards. Activate only if you control a Time Lord. Okay, so maybe this card was supposed to be in a different slot? Twice Upon a Time. Oh, and this is a new card as well. Oh, they're kind of mixing it up here. So for 6 mana, it's a sorcery that has 2 sides. The first one is an adventure, Unlikely Meeting. For 3, search your library for a Doctor card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And the regular card is cast this spell only if you control 2 or more Doctors. Take an extra turn after this one, exile Twice Upon a Time. Then we have Port Town, and look at that art. Oh my goodness. It's basically Venice. It is Venice. Oh. Exotic Orchard. We have Temple of Enlightenment, Fortified Village, Prairie Stream, Canopy Vista, Sungrass Prairie, Temple of Plenty, Irrigated Farmland, Temple of Mystery, a Vine Glimmer Snarl, Scattered Groves, Celestial Colonnade, ooh, beautiful. Deserted Beach, lovely as well. Glacial Fortress, Horizon Canopy, Overgrown Farmland, a Waterlogged Grove, Dreamroot Cascade, Skycloud Expanse, Thriving Grove, Thriving Heath, Ash Barrens, Seaside Citadel, Command Tower, Path of Ancestry, and then we have some basic lands here that all show the TARDIS on there somewhere. Ooh, I like the colors on these. Islands, of course. Ooh, beautiful. Forest. Yeah, and that's it. Okay, so we have the 4th Doctor etched. And then we get some tokens here. Some jelly beans as a food token. And on the other side we have a warrior, and I kind of mixed it up. We have a treasure token, which is a painting. Look at that. Now this is a treasure. Beautiful token. Oh, and on the other side another warrior. We have a clue token, which on the other side is a human rogue. A copy token, which is a soldier. A mutant token, which is another soldier. Mutant, that's an alien insect. An alien insect, that's a alien salamander. Look at that face. Ooh. Another mutant, which is another alien salamander. We have a soldier that is a mutant. We have another soldier that's a copy. All right. And learn to play. Go on, learn to play. Right, we also have the... Oh, this is... the sample booster pack for the collector boosters. And we also have the plane chase cards. My goodness, it's going to be a long video this. So let's take a look at what we will get. First of all, advertisement. Our first card here is the 8th Doctor, but with extended art. So we have seen him because he is in the deck. And we have a confession dial. What is that? For 3, when confession dial enters the battlefield, survey 3. Tap it to give target legendary creature card in your graveyard. Gains escape until the end of turn. The escape cost is equal to its mana cost plus exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. Alright. Interesting. And now for the plane chase cards. And I know plane chase isn't for everyone, but I really like it. We start off here with the Pyramid of Mars, which is on Mars, which is in our own universe, which is kind of funny to see. But it has, when you planeswalk to the Pyramid of Mars and at the beginning of your upkeep, survey 2. Therefore chaos, whenever chaos ensues, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Next up we have a phenomenon, Caught in a Parallel Universe. When you encounter Caught in a Parallel Universe, each player chooses a creature controlled by the player to their left. Each player creates a token that's a copy of the creature they chose, except it has menace. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's actually quite nice. Yeah, that's a way to interpret parallel universes. Gardens of Tranquil Repose. On the plane Necros. Suspended animation. Whenever a creature dies, exile it. Its controller scries 1. Okay, and have Chaos and Shoes. Create X 3/3 Black Dalek artifact creature tokens with menace, where X is 1 plus the number of cards exiled with Gardens of Tranquil Repose. We haven't seen Daleks. No Daleks at all. Spectrox Mines on the plane of Androzani Minor. When you planeswalk to Spectrox Mines and at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 3 life and create a treasure token. Whenever Chaos ensues, create a food token and a 2/2 black human rogue creature token. Then we have Coal Hill School on the plane of Earth. Whenever a player casts a historic spell, that player draws a card. Then when Chaos ensues, return target historic card from your graveyard to your hand. Next up we have Unit Headquarters, also on Earth. When you planeswalk to Unit Headquarters and at the beginning of your upkeep, create a tapped 1/1 white soldier creature token. Then whenever Chaos ensues, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. The Cheetah Planet. The plane outside Mother's Spiral. Alright. When you planeswalk to Cheetah Planet and at the beginning of your upkeep, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target non-cat creature you control. It becomes a cat in addition to its other types. When Chaos ensues, all cats gain Provoke until end of turn. Antarctic Research Base. Now this is really weird to see, because now we have literally cards based on Earth. Antarctic. Never thought I would see Magic cards that depicted Earth. So whenever you planeswalk to Antarctic Research Base and at the beginning of your upkeep, investigate. Then whenever Chaos ensues, put X +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, where X is the number of artifacts you control. It becomes a plant in addition to its other types. 2 more cards to go. The Cave of Skulls, also on Earth. Each creature card in your graveyard has Scavenge. The Scavenge cost is equal to the mana cost. When Chaos ensues, create 2 1/1 white warrior creature tokens. And finally, we have the TARDIS Bay. It is on the plane of Gallifrey, and the first spell you cast during each of your turns with mana value 2 or greater has Cascade. Then, when Chaos ensues, gain control of target artifact. Then planeswalk. Well, that was... my mouth is dry now from all the reading, because there are so many new cards in here. But I actually like it. It has some really interesting cards, and a lot of them are about historic cards, sagas, artifacts, legendary creatures. My goodness. And every card has new art. I like it a lot. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Join my Patreon if you haven't done so already, just like these people here. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.